Good evening, good Thursday evening, Trinidad and Tobago, to all of the loyal viewers, listeners of SynergyTV, wherever you're taking us in. If you're taking us in on your television or perhaps through our Facebook stream, good evening to all of you. And as always, thank you for choosing Real Issues with yours truly, Dominic Romain, to take you through your Thursday evening. So, as we always say, this is the program where we try to discuss the real issues, the topical issues, the trending issues occupying the minds and lips of the citizens as we go about our day. Those things that stand out for us, whether it is that we scrolling through Facebook or whatever is your social media platform of choice, or you just pick up the newspaper and you see something, everybody talking about it. So we try to discuss it here as best we can, and we always try to have a guest in studio so we can have a lively discussion. But from time to time, as we would have had last night, you had me and me alone, but it gave you an opportunity to call in and to share your views on some of the topics that which was discussed last night. And it was open forum for anything else that you would wish to discuss. And as we go further forward, we would try and see if we could have some more opportunities such as that. So I have with me this evening my good friend, no stranger, Jennifer Frederick. We'll be discussing a variety of issues. So we trust that we would have another exciting evening as we always do. Jen, good evening.
Hi, good evening, Dominic. Always a pleasure to be here. Good evening to all those who are tuning in on the traditional television and those on social media. And we intend to keep it lively as usual.
Yes.
And very informative, because we are here to spread the information, not misinformation or disinformation, but the facts.
Yes.
Real thing, real talk.
And I might add, this isn't the only platform on which you can find Jen and myself. We also have our podcast that we do on social media. So Jen has Let Me Talk the Thing on Facebook. I have Facts Are Stubborn Things, which you can find on YouTube. So you just go on YouTube, you pull up Facts Are Stubborn Things, and you'll be able to find it there. And also on Facebook as well. So we hope that you will join us on those other platforms where we also discuss the issues, but with a little different flavor, a little different flair. Things that we can't see here, we will see on those platforms. Yeah.
Yep,
so if you didn't know, now you know. Right. So Jen, let's get into it. So first of all, I see in the never-ending saga of the Bold and the EBC, we see that the Arima seat, Arima Northeast.
I thought it was a drunk on the or the clueless on the
Yes.
or the bacchanalist on the EBC.
Well, it's so many different things. This thing is turning out to be such a soap opera. I mean, from win to loss to tie to win. So the Arima Northeast seat, which was first declared for the PNM, then went to the UNC, has now been finally declared for the PNM. Right? So by one vote, the PNM candidate has now retaken the lead and has been declared the official winner of the Arima Northeast seat. We are yet to hear anything from the United National Congress in respect to this latest development, but my understanding is that the swearing in of the Arima Borough Corporation is supposed to take place tomorrow, subject to correction, of course, but that is what I would have read. And if that is the case, then it seems that this is in fact the final result. Whether or not the United National Congress is going to take this recount to court, as they have indicated they intend to do it with the Lengua Indian Walk seat, is left to be determined. But as of now, it would appear that the PNM has taken a clean sweep of the Arima Borough Corporation. And no big surprise there. The UNC would have been boasting that they would have made inroads, having captured one seat. Let us not forget that they went into the local election holding one seat in the Arima Borough Corporation, which was previously held by Sheldon Garcia, who would have crossed the floor and has come back to the PNM, and he would have retained that seat under the column of the People's National Movement. So it's a full 7 councillors, all PNM in the Arima Borough Corporation. I don't know if the UNC's numbers would entitle them to an alderman, but as it stands for now, it appears that the Arima Corporation, like the Port of Spain Corporation, the Point Fortin Corporation,
Diego
Martin Corporation is PNM. Yes, and I think I was looking at some figures. The Salmon Labantel Regional Corporation is 12, 14-2.
I think PNM has.
Yeah, the PNM has the majority. I think the UNC just has two councillors in that corporation, and the PNM has the majority. And and Tunapuna Piako as well.
Yeah.
The PNM also holds the majority in those two corporations. So congratulations to all of the winners on both sides, PNM and UNC. We trust that you all are going to do a good job, that you will be able to put aside the politics and remember that you represent all of the burgesses in your district, not just the persons who would have voted for you or the persons who are partial to the party that you represent. All right, so everybody who has an issue will be coming to you, regardless of whether they're PNM, UNC, PEP, PDP, whatever is their political persuasion, they will be coming to you, and you have a responsibility to serve all of them to the best of your ability with the same level of diligence. And we trust that going forward, you all will embrace reform, and we could see a much better rollout of local government going forward.
But Dominic, I just want to say, it's a shame that the UNC would have tried to embroil the EBC again into confusion and bacchanal, trying to allude to the fact that they are PNM and the members on the board of the EBC is PNM and they're related to PNM people and that they trying to rig the elections. Kamla Prasad Sessa would have set out dropping those type of conversations to people, putting in the minds of her supporters that if they lose, then it had to be some kind of nefarious activity at the EBC. The same EBC that when the PNM would have lost the election in 2010, it was not PNM EBC back then.
Yes.
They enjoyed the victory.
Yes.
And when they would have won the corporations that they would have beat PNM in, the EBC.
11-3, local government in 2010.
Right. The PNM, the EBC wasn't PNM.
No.
The EBC was FAIR.
Yes.
So now every time they lose, something is wrong with the EBC. So that should tell people who think logically and who are not fanatics that Kamla Prasad Sessa and they're just trying to create havoc in this country. And they continue to do that because the same ABC that other regions of the Caribbean just send to get EBC persons here to help them train their officials there to carry out their elections. So it means to say the EBC has a sound and credible history in holding elections in this country and also assisting other countries to carry out their election. So Kamla Prasad Sessa again continues to spread propaganda, and the Cambridge Analytica situation continues. And for them, I think they expected the PNM to lose so badly in this local government election that when they see the 7-7, they can't adjust it. So they continue with the nastiness. They continue to wreak havoc wherever the opposition leader goes and speak or her minions speak. And it does nothing good for our country. The only people who would be affected would not only be PNM supporters, UNC supporters, PDP supporters, whoever supporters, or those who don't even vote. So when she's behaving like that, I don't know what country she wants to rule when she creates that division. So it only leads me to believe, in my opinion, that she wants it to become something like Guyana in the way that they operate in terms of the two major races. And we need to move away from that because the world is too diverse now. We have globalization, we have technology, we have all global warming, we have so many other things. We came out of the pandemic. We have shifting from traditional oil and gas and all the pollution to greener earth and greener space. And there's no room in that for a country or a nation to be divided because then you wouldn't have any progress. And why would you want to mash up a whole country and then rule over what? So it says that you're not thinking clearly either. And I wish that the opposition leader could have a moment of clarity and actually feel some kind of love and feel something inside. Because again, I'm giving an opinion. I think she's empty inside. She don't have anything to hold on to. And people like that tend to always want to destroy things because if they're not happy, everybody else must be unhappy. I wish that she would sit back and realize that even her supporters, that she's not doing them any favors by the way she's behaving. and they following her and saying all these things. They're not benefiting from it, unlike people want to believe, oh, when UNC does real handle this UNC don't handle all no supporters. A few might get whatever. The rest of the supporters, especially those in the rural areas, they're living and catching the tail the same as everybody else, but because I guess they're all the same race, they keep it low so nobody don't know. Sufferation is not for PNM people or African people. People all over the world has need some type of sufferation based on certain dynamics in the society. So again, as I'm saying that all these within by one vote and creating all this bacchanal and confusion, we have to settle down and we can't just keep everything in the court. The court cannot decide on our democratic process to tell us what to do, how to do it. I saw a video recently with Imshan Ishmael and some guy called something Jaikaran or something. So
Nicholas Jaikaran.
Nicholas. Yes. And it's the most that are racist comments and conversation that were carrying on. They're saying that we vote for the PNM although we suffering, but have no problem with the UNC supporters voting for the UNC even if they're suffering.
Yes.
So you can't tell me who to vote for. We vote for who we want to vote for. And then the other one always have to always mention the fact he does give African people food and there is a line about him. I want to ask the Muslim community, is there somewhere in the Quran, I don't know, where it speaks to the fact that when you're giving, you must not give where you have to boast about it and let people see you as this great benefactor, but give from your heart. Is there not something there in the Quran about exactly? Yes. So why is it, to me, he's bringing Muslim, the faith, a noble faith into some disrepute by that kind of behavior. So I am saying I hope that we will settle down. I hope the UNC will settle down and let the country run because the burgesses are out there anxious and waiting to see this new local government reform rolled out in the real way that everybody would benefit from it at the end of the day, whether UNC or whoever you are, PNM, whoever, it's for all the citizens. So I hope they would look at that every time they study to run up the steps of the courthouse.
Yes.
We can run the country from the courts.
So true. So it appears now the results are is not only is it a 7-7 tie, but it's also a 70-70 with Lengua Indian work to break that tie. So apparently we not only have a capital 7 and a common 7, we have a capital 70 and a common 70.
Let's go continue that foolish conversation at Jack that it tells me like the longer you stay on camera, it's like your brain cells off or something. There's no capital 7 and no common 7. Yeah? We ain't talking algebra here with negative 7 and positive 7 and that kind of thing. 7 is 7.
Well, all 7s are equal, but some 7s are more equal.
I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. But I think they need to say anything that it takes to make their supporters really believe they want something. So it don't matter how ludicrous it is, but they're saying it and being afraid Rowley. And I am sure when Dr. Rowley see a plane, he go duck. I'm sure he's not frightened whether or not the marshals coming for him. And he can travel. He was in Barbados just recently. He can take a plane and go anywhere. Can Jack want to take a plane and go anywhere? So who's afraid who? Come now, man. His own sons and them would have given evidence or testimony against him in this whole matter, and they would have, I don't know if they served time or they had some type of fine or something like that. Yeah. So even though you want children sell you also, come now. Jack, you behave yourself, huh?
Never a dull moment in TNT's politics. And we see how it unfolds. I mean, I've been checking the Facebook profiles of several prominent UNC persons, such as Kamala Prasad-Bissessar. I've checked Rudal Munilal, Anil Roberts. They've not said. I've not seen any of them say anything about.
So.
I don't know. He tried. He did a lot. Well, he normally does. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So he probably watching cricket or something. Yeah. But again, trying to squeeze blood out of stone, as they say. Trying to because remember he was one of those who was predicting a defeat, a bloodbath. That didn't happen. So I don't know if it is a one-seat majority is going to make a difference. But anyway, Jen, you are an industrial relations practitioner. So,
Hey, don't let some people hear you say that.
yeah, yes. So, Caribbean Airlines, that whole fiasco that took place over the weekend, where some 60 or so flights canceled because of a sick-out, right? And the pilots, at first, there were hints that it was because of some industrial action that had been taken on the part of the pilots. Then we saw the Pilots Association sent out a communique indicating that it is rubbish, it debunked it, that they had nothing to do with that, had nothing to do with any industrial relations, anything. So Caribbean Airlines is basically on nonsense. But subsequent to that, we've now heard that in fact there was some breakdown in negotiations between management and the Pilots Association, which would have resulted in the inconvenience that was suffered by passengers, not just in Trinidad, but other parts of the world where Caribbean Airlines operates. We now understand that pilots are considered to be essential workers, and therefore there is some level of restriction in terms of them being able to participate in industrial action of the nature which we saw over the weekend. I saw in one of today's newspapers, Caribbean Airlines is contacting the doctors of the pilots to inquire as to whether or not the doctor saw them before, well, it's giving them sick leave or whatever is the case. So before we get into the substantive discussion, can Caribbean Airlines do that? Contact the doctors of the
Of course,
pilots?
because if the car pilots and it says so in the Industrial Relations Act, if they go to schedule, the first schedule in the Industrial Relations Act, that's more to the back. They have essential industries and they have categories of them, right? At 12, it says civil aviation services, including all service providers, commercial airlines, meteorology, aircraft maintenance, the majority of aircrafts, all that deals with that in
Right.
Trinidad and Tobago, that is a part of essential services, because we have Water and Sewage Authority, fire service, health service, hospital, sanitation, including scavenging, oil, gas, petrochemicals. So they list out all essential services. And section 67(2) of the Industrial Relations Act tells you that an employee or a worker carrying out or engaged in any of those essential services shall not take industrial action.
Right.
Not may or could, shall not. So by that, pilots, that action they took would have been classified as an industrial action. And because the Industrial Act says that they shall not take those actions, Carl had no choice but to take the union that represent the pilots and get an ex parte injunction against the pilots for them to come back out to work immediately, because I think they had an overnight sitting or right. So they were in the rights. And because they would have broken the law, because the Industrial Relations Act is law, which is a part of our constitution, Carl now, because the Industrial Court would have, based on the Industrial Relations Act, would have supported the fact that what the pilots did was outside their remit to do. Carl has all right now, they can, because they are the employers, they can call to the doctors to see if they're really sick. Because it could be that they were really sick.
Yeah.
How much of them? 3 hours before the flight,
Yes.
call in and say they're sick. Maybe they live in the same quarters. Maybe all of them would have eaten the same, they were linemen the night before and they drank the same thing or they ate the same thing and wasn't feeling well. So in order for Carl to really investigate this to see whether or not it is legitimate and all of them being sick, they must have to call the doctors to see if it's the same doctor that saw them. If it's different doctors, what was the symptoms and all that. That will be in the remit to do that. Yeah, and actions can be taken against the pilots. I hope it will reach to that, but Carl will be within their rights to do that. The union and all can be fined based on the Industrial Relations Act for want of a better words, not allowing, but remember, it's their members. And if you are a union and you represent these members, you ought to let them know their rights, their remit, and that. And if you have not done that, and they as essential services would have carried out industrial action, the industrial court could fine the union.
Right.
They could remove certification from them, and in extreme cases. So these things have serious, serious legal implications. So it's not a simple thing like that, but
Right.
it, the act supports what the courts would have done. Carl had no choice but to do what they did. If it was another category of workers who were not classified as essential workers, they would have been able to, I guess, at least do it and not really have that much issue, but they are essential workers. So
Right. So what relief or what remedies does the Industrial Relations Act provide for essential workers in terms of them engaging in protest, so to speak? Because I mean, we know this type of action is really something that workers use in order to force the hand of the employers to come to the negotiating table, or at least to present something more in line with what it is that the workers are looking for. But if it is that you belong to an essential service and it says, the law says you cannot engage in industrial action of that nature, of such an extreme nature, then what can you do?
that is why there is a whole system in place. You have JCCs, that joint select, that staff side, that is management, and ordinary workers who are members of a union. They have an election and they represent the workers at the workplace, and they sit with the permanent secretary every quarter, every 3 quarters, with all heads of department, and bring the issues of the workers to the table. So those things are there to help with that. You have staff sides, sections that represent the workers within the, so say like the, for instance, I'm a cook. There's a section called cooks, bakers, and food service workers. That section represents all the cooks, bakers, food service workers within the country. So whatever issues they have, they'll let the section know, and the section will relay the message to the union, or treat with it if they can't treat with it and deal with it. So you have things in place that will be able to help so that it does not reach to the level of where it becomes so unbearable. But when those systems break down and you don't have a union who is functioning properly, then the workers feel frustrated and feel as though there's no other course but to take those type of actions. But if the law says that it is not, then you have to make sure these other measures are put in place to treat with issues that the workers may have. Because it's like our negotiations, first time in history, we haven't gotten an increase in salary for 9 years. Now people would say it's the fault of the government and the minister and all that. That is a thought also, but what is the responsibility of a union? Because also in the Industrial Relations Act, the Civil Service Act, it tells you that a negotiating period is every 3 years, and it tells you the process, who to start the process and that. So if the Minister of Finance doesn't give directive to the CPO to start a negotiation within the correct period, why doesn't the unions and the file for judicial review of that same law, and whether or not the minister or the CPO will be held accountable for not doing their duty based on the act? So there's always something. You don't wait till 9 years pass and then just simply say the CPO was failing to meet and treat with the union. That is negligent in my mind on the union's part. Because it's not the government that to get paid. And it's not the CPO that to get paid. People are paying you as a union to negotiate on their behalf, and they expect every 3 years that it should be done. So it's the same thing with when it comes to the essential workers and that. There's a responsibility of the union to make sure and do everything is possible to make sure negotiations are settled. Find a way. That is why we have mediation, conciliation. But nobody wants to sit at the table and talk it out no more. As they meet one hiccup, go on the streets. And placard and all that. When at the table is where a union has its strength at the table, you know? Not when the workers out on the street. You know? Because out on the street, they could get workers fired, they could get other workers coming and do the work and all that. But at the table is where you make it happen. you counter proposal back and forth, and you work it out. The last resort is on the streets, but they just want to forgo the negotiation. Like nobody had time with that. They don't have patience anymore. And as they send in their proposal, the CPO counter propose, they send back their one, and the CPO, and that's the end of it. When it's supposed to be, let us look to see where we could navigate and carry this thing, because it must be up and down, whatever. But they allow it for 9 years, and this is the end result. Our PSA is going to the High Courts for interpretation of a law in the Civil Service Act. So you're going to take the state to court for interpretation of something in the Act, which says that the special tribunal has the authority, any award coming before it, it's now to be a period of 5 years instead of 3. You're going for interpretation in something that has been expressed. But none only will take the Minister of Finance and the CPO to the High Court for interpretation of the Act, where states that a negotiating period is 3 years, and the responsibility of the CPO and the Minister of Labor in treating with the negotiation. So coming right back to where we started, I think the pilots union, or whatever union they call themselves, has to also take some responsibility for where the negotiation is at for the pilots. And the pilots may very well have a very legitimate reason for being upset because their money hasn't been settled and all that. But it could have been done differently, because the law states, until the law change, they cannot take industrial action. So it has to do with the laws. And they broke the law, so there are consequences to that.
They broke the law, and consequences to follow. We will see. We go to our first break for this evening, and we continue the discussion when we come back. So stay locked to Real Issues. We'll be right back.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtor Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saeed, Managing Director of Realtor Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
You have skills?
My skill is mechanical fitting. Alta put a new meaning into my life. It made me able to do things on my own. I know where I used to be, and right now, I like where I'm at. I like what Alta have turned me into. I am skilled. I am Alta skilled.
Are you 16 or over? Add reading and writing to your skills with free Alta classes. Sign up at Nalis Libraries on September 5th and 6th or call 708-1990.
Attention all bakers, doubles vendors, roti makers. Try Chic Leisha high quality unbleached bromate free all purpose and whole wheat flour. Bleached flour and bromate flour is treated with chemicals that can cause cancer, and this is banned in Europe and many other countries. Chic Leisha flour offers a healthier option, being that it's unbleached and bromate free. It also has a finer grain and a softer texture, lower priced and conveniently packaged in 2 pound, 2 kg, 10 kg and 25 kg bags. Available at groceries and supermarkets. For wholesale and retail prices, contact Chic Leisha Limited at 665-3336 or 480-8715 or visit them at Warrenville, Canupia. Chic Leisha Limited. Quality you can trust.
The Solid Agency, the standard for artiste management and development. Booking for an exclusive roster of the region's top-rated entertainers. The Solid Agency, the standard for event execution live and virtual, including fully loaded Shaggy and Friends, New York, Nigeria, and Antigua music festivals, Budge's Long Walk to Freedom, Bounty, Beanie Versus, to name a few. Make your career or your event solid. Contact us now, thesolidagency@gmail.com. Call 1-876-469-4005. Visit solidagency.com.
Welcome back. You're tuned into The Real Issues with Dominic Romain and my co-host this evening, Jennifer Frederick. Let me say good evening to all of the Form 5 and Form 6 students who are waiting anxiously for results. The results which are supposed to be coming out, I believe, at midnight tonight. Jen, it was supposed to come out at 6. Yeah, it was supposed to come out at 6 o'clock, and I saw a communique from the ministry that says it will be coming out. It will be released online at midnight. So I know there are lots of nervous young people, nails bitten right now. They've been on edge probably all day. But if it is that you know you did your best, then what else could you have done? So whatever the results may be, all is not lost. Let me say congratulations in advance to all those who would be celebrating full certificate, all ones and all that. Well, whatever is the result, you would have done your best, and that's as much as we can ask from you all, right? So, and life goes on. So enjoy the next couple hours, and we will see how that goes, and we look forward to hearing the results and subsequently those persons who would be recipients of scholarships as they pursue their chosen fields of endeavor and future careers. So, future employees too, and employers. So we discussed it. Jen, I have to ask this question, right? So the normal bargaining period is supposed to be every 3 years.
Yeah.
Is the employer obligated to give a pay raise every 3 years?
Well, based on the civil service and industrial regional guides, how it is every 3 years a negotiating period.
Right.
So it is in law unless they change it. And I'm talking about public officers. I don't know how it is in the private sector or anything like that. And because the pilots, I guess, will fall under that because see their negotiating period that is outstanding. It looks like it's about 3 years. So yes, the law says that.
So when an employer comes to the table and says 001.
Well, the employer will always start at that.
Right.
Because it's not a no thing under Kamala Prasad and the Minister of Finance at the time, Winston Dukaran, start at 1%. So that is how it is. So that is why it's negotiation. So if the employer says 000 for the 3 years, you as a union have to come with your subject matter experts and everybody to show no based on inflation. Because as I said before, the way we negotiate for salaries in this country is based on the retail price index methodology, how inflation eats up your money for the month, for the year, and over the 3 years. And every year does be different, as I said before. When you look at the inflation rate of 2020 to 21 and 22, 2020 was 0.60%, 2022, 2.16%, and 2021, 2.16%, and 2022, 5.85%. So that's why your starting point. Because if that's how we negotiate, you're showing how for 2020, inflation ate up the public officer spending power by 0.60. So you're looking for a bigger percentage. 2021, 22. So the employer can say 0, they could say what they want, But that way it is a counter proposal.
Right.
You have to back it up. If the employer is saying we can't pay because of this factor or that, and you telling them yes, they could pay, you have to show that they're not telling the truth.
Right.
So you have to get your data and information. But with regards to the 4% again, no union, and they could say what they want, they could watch me and likewise saying that's okay. No union was able to get no data to show that the government could pay more than 4% for those period go.
Right.
There's no data to support that. Otherwise, they would have gotten the data and held that. They realized that this is what it is.
Right.
The data is there. They don't have any data to counteract that. The best thing to do, settle for the 4% that nobody wanted, but it gives you the opportunity, as I say, to go and negotiate for 2020, 21, and 22. And you have the data in your hand now that shows it in real time. And you also have the government stating that they're in a better place. You have Moody saying they could borrow. You have so there's no reason they could say they can't pay. So that is the safer thing to do.
Right.
And the smartest thing to do, cut that. We don't already lose that. They can't pay for that period. You can't make them pay for a period they don't have money to pay for. You don't go back in time or carry what you have today and go back in time and you're dealing with it. So deal with the real time now. But the law says every 3 years, not less, a negotiating period is not less than 3 years and not more than 5 years.
Right.
So that's why when it goes before the special tribunal, it's for 5 years. When it's outside by negotiating table, it's 3 years.
Right.
And that's what it is until they change that method. That's how it is.
Okay. So I was reading this morning and again, and I don't know, I can't remember which one of the newspapers it was, but they were talking about a situation in Singapore some years ago, again, similar to what we had with respect to the airline pilots, where they sought to hold the country to ransom, and the then Prime Minister of Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew, would have laid down the gauntlet. But in reading that article, interestingly, it spoke to, I assume that the fact that it was published that there may be some merit in it, that in 2 years prior to that incident in Singapore, that we had a similar situation in Trinidad, and that Dr. Williams had fired all the pilots. And for 8 months,
but
the
but you know, that is the hardest data to get, you know.
Yes.
I asked some people that said that deep cover, you know, to get. I think I wanted to get that. You just seen the
it was the newspapers
something.
this morning here.
Oh, they actually put it this
Yes,
morning?
they gave the whole story about
I missed
Dr.
that
Williams.
one.
Yeah, which I think it was probably the
was
Express. So
1980.
I think it was six. Is it?
No, it's 19.
It was before Lee Kuan Yew did it. 2 years before he did it.
It's in the 80s.
Yeah,
It was in the 80s. Yeah, BWI it was at the time.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So, but we have a clip with Lee Kuan Yew laying down the law for the pilots, letting them know, well, here, what now? If it is you want to hold the country to ransom, well, I will shut down everything and then start over without all.
Dr. Rowley is a dictator.
Yes.
Dr. Rowley didn't get involved in this process at all.
Correct.
It went the correct way, industrial code, and they made it. But Dr. Rowley is a dictator. Listen to Lee Kuan Yew.
So we go to that clip.
I can tell you that when I met the SIA pilots, I didn't meet them on TV. I met them face to face. So 5 feet across the table so they can see me and see whether I'm still vigorous, able to campaign and take them on, whether it's worth taking me on. And I offered them 2 choices. Either you argue, you stop this intimidation, which is what it was, bringing SIA right down, disrupting services, ruining its reputation, millions of dollars worth of advertisements and sales ruined within a matter of 2 weeks. I gave them a choice. Continue this, and I will, by every means at my disposal, teach you and get the people of Singapore, help me teach you a lesson you won't forget. And I'm prepared to start all over again. Or stop it. Get back to work, restore discipline, then argue your case. Took them 65 minutes. And they decided, okay, it isn't worth the fight. Why? Because they know they'll lose. They know that I'm prepared to ground the airline. They know that I can get the airline going again without them. And let there be no mistakes about this. Whoever governs Singapore must have that iron in him, or give it up. This is not a game of cards. This is your life and mine. I've spent a whole lifetime building this. And as long as I'm in charge, nobody's going to knock it down.
Lee Kuan Yew there, former Prime Minister of, well, the late Lee Kuan Yew, former Prime Minister of Singapore, the man who was referred to as the benevolent despot, ruled with an iron fist when it is that his opposition, his opponents on the other side of the aisle would challenge government's policy. And if it is that he felt that they were nuisances to the development of Singapore, he would simply have them arrested without cause, detained. at the behest of the state to ensure that he drove through his policies. And as a result of that, Singapore is where it is today, the envy of the rest of the world. But, we refer to, as you rightly said, they call Dr. Rowley a dictator.
Dr. Rowley is a tyrant and a dictator.
But yet still we keep talking about Trinidad should be like Singapore. Well, if it's Singapore, reach how it is.
Oh.
Yeah.
You hear the man say 60, how much minutes? 65 minutes.
Yes.
They went back to work because he said, I will make the whole of Singapore and we will come down here and we'll teach you a lesson.
Yeah. And
you hear Dr. Rowley talking. So.
Yeah. But the interesting thing about that, Chen, is that the very people who laud and praise Singapore and where it is today, and they talk about, in Singapore, you can't spit on the ground and you can't throw chewing gum and things and litter and all of these different things. The things that we admire. If it is the government here who try to put that in place, all hell break loose, eh?
What?
All hell break loose.
United Nations coming along,
Oh, yes. Yes, they're taking on people's rights and this
all
and that.
kind of thing. But why we not like Singapore? You think it's easy to bring a nation to that discipline, being soft and nice and...
Yes.
Because if 10 people saying one, I say yes, I see boss, 10 all the get locked up, but not wrong me.
Yeah.
What I say.
Yes.
Those are the measures that former Prime Minister deceased would have taken. So that it became, by the time he was finishing, if it's 10, 15 years, the society in Singapore has become conditioned to behaving with discipline.
Correct.
Because it's in the psyche, if they do this, this will happen. So that is why he was able to tell, in my opinion, he told the pilots and them, if all you don't go back out to work, all you want to go, we will teach all their lessons. And I'll get the whole of Singapore to teach all their lessons. Them realize what I mean.
Yes.
That could mean all kind of things for them when they're walking out there. So here, what? Then we go back to work and we can talk about it when we go back out.
Yeah.
It's that discipline, and that discipline didn't come yesterday. It took years, and it took strong. He said you have to rule it at iron. I mean, you have to be firm. What I watched the whole of that speech because it wasn't just that alone. Rain falling, and he stand up in the rain and just wiping his face, and few people over there humble and the rest just stand up in the rain, obedient, listening. You could have attention to that.
Yeah. Discipline built a model nation. Yeah.
But discipline comes with hard work.
Correct.
It comes with some abuse also.
Correct.
It will have abuses in that. And human rights are violation.
As with all things well-intentioned. Abuse is inevitable. Yeah. But at the end of the day, today, Singapore is where they are. But, Lee Kuan Yew also, and because I've read his biography and so on, and he was of the view, build it and they will come.
Yeah.
Yes. So he said we can't expect to want investors to come to Singapore from the United States, and Singapore doesn't look like the United States. These are the things that they're accustomed to. High rises, right? Skyscrapers. They're not coming here flat. And Mr. Manning, when it is he built the waterfront, shared a similar sentiment. He was saying we don't have lateral. Yeah, we need to go vertical. Yeah, but Manning just obsessed with skyline, and Manning want to change the skyline of Port of Spain and all of these different things. And it is only now, and that's the unfortunate thing in Trinidad, as they say, hindsight is 2020. All of those who were criticizing him at the time when he was doing all of this today want to praise him and say, yes, Mr. Manning was this and yes.
Just convenience. The guy was about convenience now because they don't like Dr. Rowley, so they're looking for anything else. Just want to go tell it, Dr. Eric Williams too was better than Rowley.
They already say it.
They're saying it?
Yes.
Oh,
yes, Rowley is the worst Prime Minister ever.
And that, again, that is how dangerous propaganda is. Spread a seed is a psychological thing. Let me tell you this quickly. There's a psychology of colors. There's a psychology with advertisement with all different companies and stuff. I was reading, so I'm going to say alleged, right? KFC, red and white. Those are colors that will attract you. And they would build a central area where the crowd. And a certain hour of the day, they will start to fry, and they have the vents put in that way. So the smell is wafting through, and you walking hungry. You're not hungry, eh?
Right.
You get the whiff of that. God, I could eat some chicken. And then you see the bill, I go and buy KFC.
Yes.
When you're done by the KFC, and then you're cussing now because I should not eat that, I should not buy that, it does make me feel good. But it's the psychology of the whole thing. Point is, if you keep saying Dr. Rowley wicked, Dr. Rowley evil, Dr. Rowley bad, Dr. Rowley is a dictator, but eventually you'll find people saying the same things. When you ask them what makes him that, I don't know, but I just don't like him. He wicked, he evil. What he evil in doing? I don't know. That's what I keep telling you, because they're just repeating and regurgitating Dr. Rowley evil. He wicked and bad. He don't like black people. He's a dictator. He bring the come to thing. We suffering. We go, he grab. Those are that's all you hear people saying over and over, and it has been deliberately put in the air by Kamla Prasad Bisesa and the UNC. And because we have people like to pick up things, we just pick it up, and because if things going bad in your house, Dr. Rowley.
Yeah.
You walk down the road and a man thing, Dr. Rowley.
Yeah.
It just becomes natural and normal to say that. And
Correct.
they put Kamla Prasad Bisesa now, the mother, and she loves us. And yeah, she's a woman, and she auntie comes, and with that auntie comes come, she benevolent, she kind, she nice. And that's what it's about. But when you look at the two people, if you go behind the scenes, who more wicked and evil, in my opinion, than Kamla Prasad Bisesa, with the things that she doing. But you're not going to hear people saying those things. We have heard Jacona, and they speak about her drinking, her being an alcoholic. We heard Verna St. Rose alluding to that, but you do ever talk about that. But Dr. Rowley went to the panyard. Whole day he was up and about on the sand, and me have felt a little faint about he did drunk and fall. He in some party with a glass, always in party drinking rum. But you never hear Dr. Rowley fall long. You never hear stories that told him out nowhere. You're hearing about Kamla Prasad Bisesa, but you know what? It is easy just to say it's Dr. Rowley because of the fact they're programming people to just simply hate Dr. Rowley. So everything he does, nobody have time to look at it logically no more. It's just simply, I don't like Hina, and nothing he says will make sense to them. And that is what we are fighting against in this country. So that is why I say Kamla Prasad Bisesa is wicked. I say so. Wicked and evil to this country based on all the actions.
Yes. And some of the very same people who say, well, Rowley ain't do nothing for the country, and what Rowley do for the people? And you're all enjoying the tax savings that he gave you by increasing your personal allowance, not once, not twice, but 3 times. All you all remember is, I increased gas once, I increased gas twice, and they're not yet. So I might increase it a 3rd time. But when it is you were saying, Madam Speaker, the government is increasing personal allowance from 60,000 to 72, from 72 to 84, and 84 to 90. You all didn't hear that part. No. So some people were paying income tax between 2010 to 2015, no longer paying income tax. And some others, a lot of others, in fact, paying 7,500 less than you were paying between 2010 to 2015. But we wouldn't talk about that increase. No, we're not interested in that. We're not ready for that conversation. But we want to talk about the increase in the price of gas. Right. Yeah? Convenience.
Again, it's the narrative that they continue to push. And I think people are really getting fed up now because Kamla Prasad Bisesa, and they are not delivering anything to the country no more. It's gloom and doom, and then we see this whole matic talk and light it up talk that is going nowhere. And you're hearing they're speaking out of desperation almost now with the 7-7 tie, and it's getting more and more ludicrous, and people watching them and saying they can't be real. Nah, something wrong with them. So I think Kamla Prasad Bisesa and them they should know if they don't know. On the ground, they're not looking good again. People are just fed up because they're not seeing them moving to our next level. They're not telling you how they're going to make this better. They're not telling you what they're going to do to make this country better. You can't tell me to make this country better, you'll have stand your ground laws.
Yes.
Where it just simply means you could just see somebody and think they are a threat, and once you have a license for arm, and you could just shoot them, and that is a justification. That could never be a solution to crime, or a pundit saying that urban use and east-west corridor targeting Indian people in Aranguez, there's no data to support that. That could never be how you treat with crime. We not hear them speaking about the Trespass Act. Let us know if we need more legislation in the Trespass Act to make it stronger. Do something, but you're not hearing that. You're not hearing about let us strengthen our communities. Let us get crime stoppers to come to talk to communities so we could strengthen ourselves, where we could put lights up in our homes to make it less vulnerable. But because you're not hearing those conversations, only hearing about stand your ground and light it up polymatic. And I think people just had enough of that. Because when she's saying that we see more crime happening, we see more guns out on the street, we hearing Wayne Hayde making all these tapes now and talking about Gary Griffith and what he should have known or to know. We see Minister Young went and give back in his gun. They say that's as automatic all that, but he did it within the law. He didn't have to carry it to the nearest police station. He had to carry it into the police, and that is what he did.
Right.
They're making that like he did something wrong. However, you hear Uran Munlan talking about in a prior newspaper report that some high officials in the PNM wanted to take away Watson Solomon Juke gun. How Watson Solomon Juke get a gun? Watson Solomon Juke is a convicted criminal. He was convicted in the courts of Arima for falsely pulling a fire alarm. The judgment was handed down, a fine. He didn't pay the fine, he appealing it in the Privy Council. He is a convicted criminal. How we get that? He's also before the court on criminal charges coming and stemming out of alleged rape. He was arrested and charged on 1 count of rape, 4 counts of sexual assault. Isn't that criminal? That is not a criminal act.
Yes.
How come somebody like him has a gun? Stuart Young naming before the court. Stuart Young never got charged for anything, but he gave back a gun which he was entitled to do. It wasn't the ones that ban or anything that they're talking about it. But you're telling me about they want to take back Juke gun. They should take back his gun from him if he's a convicted criminal. Look at the Adrian Ali, that's his name.
Yes.
Who pulled the gun. It is alleged for the female or whatever it is. How he still has a gun?
Yeah.
Well, they ain't talking about those things, but they want to drag Minister Young for carrying back a gun that he was entitled to do, and he did it the legal way, and it was not illegal. It was not an illegal gun, but you want to make noise about that. People just fed up with you.
Pulling hairs. Let me also say good night to the 33,000 persons who would have received or will be receiving their income tax refund checks in the mail, which would have been sent out to you all just over a week or so ago. Never mind the opposition say it was supposed to be an election gimmick. But for some of us, for those of you who were fortunate enough to get yours, and I believe the minister said once your refund is $20,000 or less, you will be getting your long overdue refunds. Thanks to the increase in personal allowance, your refund check is a little bigger than it would have been between 2010 to 2015. But we're not gonna thank the minister for that. No, he's a dwen, a square peg in the wrong hole. Yes, that's how we put it. But for a lot of people, this check couldn't have come at a better time, especially as school is about to open, and some persons will be receiving these funds to be able to assist in procuring back to school items for their children. Perhaps you have some outstanding bill or so on. So timing is very good. So while some people may say, well, what tell them thanks for? Buy my money. Why did it have to take so long to pay it? For those of you who are happy that it came in the time that it did, well, as they say, the Lord works in mysterious ways, great wonders to perform. So we take another break, and when we come back, we continue the discussion. We will change it up a little bit, a little more on the positive side. So stay locked, we'll be right back.
My parents' generation grew up with Royal Castle from the first restaurant in 1968 when that distinctive, tempting aroma hit the air. Like never before, fried chicken with a special blend of local seasonings and a one-of-a-kind flavor down to the bone. Today, Royal Castle still have that same delicious taste, and I love it too. And the kids, they have more to enjoy. For me, the Castle is more than just nice food. It's we own, part of me and you, and is the real flavor of TNT.
A warm welcome awaits you at Alicia's Palace, a hotel nested in the quiet hills of Lady Chancellor at 1 3/4 mile mark just above the Emperor Valley Zoo. Alicia's Palace is the perfect place to combine pleasure and business. A 24-hour facility with full amenities, including air-conditioned rooms with Wi-Fi, mini-fridge, microwave, and cable TV. Designed to provide you with quiet comfort and convenience. The perfect staycation location where you can swim in the outdoor pool, soak in the jacuzzi, or simply soak up the sun, all at an affordable price. Relax and enjoy local dishes in an eco-friendly environment. At Alicia's Palace, they conduct steam cleaning of all rooms and common areas in keeping with current health and safety protocols. Whether it's a special occasion or simply just to get away, Alicia's Palace combines affordability and quality service. For more details, check out their Facebook page, Alicia's Palace HQ, or give them a call at 621-1017 or 624-8553.
If you're planning an event, make us your first option. At Reality of a Dream, we can make your event memorable. We can assist in planning your corporate functions, moderate gatherings, family occasions, christenings, and more. We also cater for weddings and other special occasions. Our newly renovated venue includes a majestic entryway, which takes you along a path to a fantastic indoor facility, which can accommodate up to 80 dining guests. A recently completed, fully air-conditioned, beautifully designed wing, which maintains the theme and flow of Reality of a Dream, adds 30 extra seats for dining guests. In total, we can now seat a total of 110 dining guests. Come see for yourself the splendor that awaits you. Walk along the path and make your way to the breathtaking, well-maintained swimming pool and gazebo, and also the entire grounds of Reality of a Dream. We've also updated the Dream Suite, which comes with all modern conveniences, where guests can enjoy the feeling of an exquisite retreat overlooking the entire area. Reality of a Dream caters to professional events. We provide secure parking for guests, so call us at 332-6880 and ask for Harriet, located at number 15 Moses Avenue, San Juan. Reality of a Dream, making dreams come true every day.
You have skills?
My skill is agriculture. How I used to use the chemical, you throw some, and it's still like I think that's enough. After learning from Alta how to read, I sit down under the tree one day and I was leaving the labor. Alta come like the soil, so you starting to grow, and then they starting to nurture you into perfection. I am skilled. I am Alta skilled.
Are you 16 or over? Add reading and writing to your skills with free Alta classes. Sign up at Nalis Libraries on September 5th and 6th or call 708-1990.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us here on The Real Issues with Dominic Romain and my co-host this evening, Jennifer Frederick. Because I know as we always say, we know there are always alternatives to tuning in. I think CPL is on. I don't know if there's a match this evening.
Well, I think so.
Yeah.
I'm not really a sports person, so.
Yeah.
I used to really love cricket.
Right.
And I used to follow West Indies. And there was a time they had like 6 runs to make and whatever it is. And I bite my nails, my belly, my hand, and them come and lost that. I was sick whole day, sick the night, 6 days, and then after that, I couldn't take that no more.
Yeah.
So
It's a special consternation.
Yeah.
Yes.
I ain't about that.
You have to be built of student stuff to. I ain't saying to support the West Indies, but
no, I don't support them, but
sometimes
tell me what happened. Tell me what happened. I'm not sitting down to watch. I'm not able with that. No.
Yeah, difficult sometimes, but hey, you gotta keep the faith, right? So, yeah, but we just, as we said, we would just want to switch it up a little bit, talk some stuff on the more positive side, with respect to there are some persons, or there's a school of thought in this country that the government ain't doing nothing for the youth, or then there are those, and we know there are persons who are viewing this this program who say, we often ask the question, what has the government done for the last 8 years? They have nothing to show for it. Well, clearly you're looking in the wrong place. If you look in the right place, you will find that a lot has been done, and there is a lot to show for it. But when you're not inclined to look, because you want to hold on to that narrative that they ain't do nothing, because it fuels your desire to hate the government and continue along that trajectory, well, you will continue to see those things. But we, from time to time here, whenever the opportunity presents itself, will try to present to you, the population, some of the things that to promote some of the things that the government is doing, whether it is that we do that by having ministers come in and have that one-on-one chat with them so that they can share firsthand what is happening in their ministry and direct you to where you can find that pictorial or even video evidence of what it is that the government is in fact doing. I see that the Ministry of Works and Transport has been putting out a lot of photographs of road paving exercises taking place across the country. We know that the state of the roads has been a bugbear for the citizens for quite some time. Persons complaining about damage to their vehicles, whether it's their chassis, whether it's the damage to their suspension and tires busting, and how much money that they have to spend and so on. But the government is making a concerted effort. A promise was made that once funding became available, that we would see a massive road paving exercise taking place. The elections have come and gone, and the road paving exercise continues. It would have started before the election, and it continues. And it is the intention of the ministry to continue with this exercise as we lead up to 2025. So gone are the days when we would see nothing happening for years, and then 6 months before election, all of a sudden, all the equipment, paving equipment comes out and roads start to get paved. So that is an ongoing exercise, and let me just say kudos to the Ministry of Works and to the Minister, Rohan Sinanan, for all that work that his ministry is doing, and for which he seldom gets, that praise or even the credit for what is being done. Because we always see the tires being burnt and the protests when the road's bad, but when it is fixed and then it is paved, we don't see people coming out and calling the media to say, look, the road paved, and let us have a, well, I don't know if you can have a, well, it's not a protest, but, to highlight the work when it is done. But, so Jen, what do we have on the menu?
Well, last time I was here, there's somebody who had made mention, one of the persons listening on, about showing the things that the young people
yes.
would have taken part in under the new ministry and show those who would have been successful. And that was a conversation I was having with somebody at a time, that we need to make these programs real to the young people, because they're hearing about it,
yes,
but they're not seeing those persons who took part in it or who would have finished. So to them, it's not connecting. So that is where we are. So one of the first clip is with the Minister of Youth Development and National Services, because this is the first time our country has a youth ministry. We are accustomed to having a youth department. Now we have a whole ministry dedicated to young persons between the ages, I think 18 to 35, or
yes.
I think 15 to 35, anywhere around there. So the first clip is the Minister of Youth Development and National Services, Foster Cummins. He was at the Economic and Social Council Youth Forum. It took place the 25th to the 27th of April 2023, and that forum provided a platform for young persons to engage in dialogue with member states and other actors to voice their views, concern, and galvanize action on how to transform the world into a fairer, greener, and more sustainable place by the Sustainable Development Goals. And that was in the UN, as a part of the UN, the United Nations Economic and Social Council. So Minister Foster Cummins was there presenting on behalf of Trinidad and Tobago, and he, being the minister for this new ministry, would have given his thoughts on where we're going and what we intend to do.
Nice. So we go to that clip.
Thank you so much for sharing how you're fostering inclusive and safe communities in Mauritius. I want to go on to His Excellency, Mr. Foster Cummins, Minister of Youth Development and National Services of Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. The Government of Trinidad and Tobago recognizes the importance of youth participation in fostering sustainable cities and communities. As such, our national youth policy forms the basis for the development of projects and programs aimed at youth advancement to have a future that is safe, resilient, and sustainable. Accordingly, the Youth Agricultural Shade House project was introduced in 2022 and is a one-year full-time program designed to equip young citizens with the necessary skills, infrastructure, and inputs to produce high-value short-term crops. This project expands youth intervention strategies and promotes agro-entrepreneurship. In addition, the Youth Agricultural Homestead Program, aimed at addressing socio-economic challenges such as youth unemployment, youth housing deficit, climate change, and food security, was introduced in 2021. This initiative provides accredited training for 1,200 new 21st century and agro-entrepreneurs with the intention of establishing 6 youth-owned farming communities. It also seeks to promote environmental consciousness through agroforestry to mitigate climate change, provide nutritious, affordable, and accessible food, reduce pollution and support waste management, decrease the food import bill, integrate young persons in the manufacturing ecosystem, and include the participation of youth in economic diversification activities with access to technical and financial resources. These interventions will equip our young people with the tools to drive and accelerate the process of achieving the targets set by CARICOM heads to reduce the region's food import bill by 25% by 2025. With this in mind, Trinidad and Tobago remains committed to youth empowerment in fostering sustainable cities and communities. I thank you.
Yeah, so that was Minister Foster Cummings there speaking at the United Nations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Youth Forum. What was interesting, he spoke about the homestead program. And normally people will say, them just go and talk that just so and nothing will come out of that. Did we not see that the homestead program had started and there was a graduation? So the point we are making is that the minister, we have the ministry for the first time. They started a project. He went before he went on the for the youth forum, and he would have explained the kind of things that the ministry be engaged in for the young persons.
Right.
And they actually came back and started the program. Then we have some other clips that would show the caravans that has been going to the different communities, giving them opportunity to see what skills they want to get involved in, help them with whatever help they need to start their business. You would have seen also one of the clips you would show finally is the graduation of the first set of persons who would have completed the homestead program.
Okay.
So we want to make it real to show you all that something is happening. It's not just talk alone. From the time the ministry was formed to the minister, they developing the youth policy, the minister going to the UN, to the youth conference, the forum, and speaking about the projects that the ministry has for the young persons and actually rolling it out through the caravans and then the program itself, and then we have graduation. So this is what these clips are about. Bringing it real to show is real persons who took part in the project and it's real persons who are graduating and it is happening. And it's not just, we're just talking about it and there's nobody, we're not seeing anybody who are the beneficiaries of it.
Right.
So this is what this is about tonight.
Right.
To show it as real.
So we go to clip number 2.
MYDNS, yo! Caravan on the road.
This Saturday, we welcome each and every one of you from Laventille, from Beetham Gardens, from Silas, from Duncan Street, from Port of Spain, you name it, right here on the Beetham Gardens Recreational Ground. The Ministry of Youth Development and National Service, we are bringing the youth caravan to Beetham. You do not want to miss it. This is all the government services. You have a nephew that wants to join my lab. CCC, all of them, you're just finding right here.
Interested in agriculture? Welcome out this Saturday to the Beetham Recreational Ground and meet with the Youth Agricultural Homestead Program, a 2-year program that gives you access to land, a grant, and much more. Don't miss it.
It's all about you. Come, 6th of May. Let's go. Come, get your loan. Promote your business. It's all about you. What do I want? Speak. The 6th of May, right here.
And we also have entertainment from Geronus.
And as that boy, Hollywood, it's a movie, don't miss it. Saturday the 6th, don't be late.
Right, and that there was the Beetham persons within the area advertising the caravan that was to come through to Beetham, and that caravan would have gone to other areas also. And it's interesting that the youth activist we see speaking there is Curry Marcel, who is now an attorney at law from Beetham itself. So he is very active in the community and doing youth work. So that was just advertising it. So what we're showing is how it's going from one level to the next. So it is real. So we saw the minister speaking at the forum. We see now they're rolling it out, going to the communities to tell them what this program is about. And by the time we are finished, you're going to actually see the graduates. So we could go to the other program.
So just a word to Insha and Ishmael. Instead of only talking about it, they have enough. They should have had more lawyers coming out of BTAM. Maybe you should get on board and make a contribution other than yapping. We go to the third clip.
I'm telling all the youth and them take advantage of this opportunity in Trinidad.
Lord knows how I settle myself. God knows how I better myself. So sometimes when you feel like nobody can help me, I just get up and get it myself. Lord knows I go hard for the money, I go hard for the cash. No, Jaja give me blessings in the morning and protect me on my hustle, come a blessed. Yeah.
There is such a wide range of programs. We saw it to put a package together and to demonstrate to them all the avenues in terms of skills training, in terms of education, in terms of jobs, and in terms of business development.
All my life, they be trying to keep me down.
Very informative, it's very useful for you especially don't know what they want to do.
Right.
I am actually finishing Peeps this year, and I'm in two, so let's see what I really want to do.
All my life, they be trying to keep me down.
Yeah, so as Jenny said, that's the youth caravan, and it continues to roll to different communities throughout Trinidad and Tobago. So, there's an old saying, you could lead the horse to water, but you can't force him to drink. And one of the challenges that has faced, I think, government programs, such as what we have been looking at over the last 3 clips, is how do you get the youth to engage in these programs, right? And if it is you just leave it to them to go to find the information, well, then a lot of them are just going to fall by the wayside. So the ministry would have taken the initiative. If they will not come to us, we are going to go to them. And we're going to make it exciting and attractive so that the young people can come out and be a part of all that the ministry has to offer. In fact, when Minister Cummings was here a couple of weeks ago and he spoke about this caravan and by extension, the programs that the caravan is promoting, he said most times these programs are in fact oversubscribed and persons have to sign up and hold on for the next cohort to roll out in order for them to be a part of what the ministry has to offer. So much so that the ministry is now constantly rolling out new programs. I think they've reached up to about 16 and more to come. And most of them are geared towards promoting entrepreneurship. So while it is on the other side of the political fence, people are talking about creating jobs, 50,000 jobs. You're about creating, that is really translates to creating 50,000 employees. But the programs that the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service is rolling out is geared towards creating entrepreneurs and employers. And when you create employers, they can now hire persons, train them, show them the way that they went, and help them too to become employers. Right? So that is really the way that we should be going. So when the Prime Minister says there's nothing wrong with the rich getting richer, to become rich, you have to start somewhere, And what better way than to start your own business, a legitimate business, and the government is giving opportunity, because not only are you getting the education courtesy the state, after you complete your period of training, as with the homestead program, you're getting 2 acres of land, a starter home, $20,000 to start your business, and you also have financial support from a $24 million grant that was set up by the government through NEDCO to give you additional funding support. And then you also have the support of the Agricultural Development Bank if it is that you need further support. And you will also get technical support from the Business Development Corporation. What more could you ask for? And this is just one of several programs offered by the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service. You have no excuse to be getting yourself involved in a life of crime. You have another clip, Chad?
Yes. This one also, again, is a process. They actually in the area now, I think it was BTAM that they were at, and the final clip will be the graduation of the first group of persons who
Right.
took part in the homestead program. Yeah.
Great. So we go to that fourth clip.
Created this Ministry of Youth Development and National Service, one of the reasons why, so that we can get young people trained up, get them involved in our processes. We have a youth policy that we have approved. So all in all, we are seeing a lot of involvement from young people that we may not have seen in the past, and this keeps growing.
Great opportunity to celebrate youth and celebrate their achievements, celebrate their resilience, and of course have them be active participants in their development.
We are going to touch base with Dr. Cheryl Ann Boodram, and she is the coordinator of the social work program at the University of West Indies. It's all about the youth week. Let's take a look.
One of the things that we talked about was the current climate of youth work in Trinidad and Tobago,
Right.
and how it can lend itself to the actual process of professionalization. But youth work is really two things. It's a practice, so it's a profession that practices with young people. It has a practice model, it has theoretical foundations. So youth work is really set to reach that purpose of improving the lives of young people.
Be a youth worker or professionalized youth work, we have a body of knowledge, we have theories, we need to go to training, we need to have models of how to work with youth.
Again, Dominic, is real people. It's not, they just get people and just put them together. There's real persons, young persons who are actually taking part. Those programs did happen. Not only the Homestead program, and I know there's one where they were teaching person engineering with music. They have, it's so many programs. You all need to go onto the Ministry of Youth Development and National Services Facebook page. The information is there. If you have children who you think would be interested in getting involved in, whether it's agriculture, music, whether it's
Culinary arts through
arts,
MIC.
through
Yes.
MIC, my part, you want them on the right path, please.
Which is now going to be open to young women.
Yeah, and
Yes.
all those are now under the Ministry of Sport, under the Ministry of Youth. The National Services is the my part, and those programs.
Right.
We never had that before. Because the ministry used to be Ministry of Sports and Youth Affairs.
Right.
And just a youth department, but now that is a whole youth ministry. All the things that cater to young persons are now housed under one umbrella in the ministry. So get on the Facebook page, find out the programs are there. They have short programs, they have short courses, and I think you get a stipend also, but
yes,
look for a program that caters to what you want to do and keep going from there. It is there, the work is there. The people are there. This is not a game. This is not no gimmick. It is real. So I just wanted you all to see for yourself that this is actually happening, and young persons are really going out. So when they want to tell you that the young people don't want anything and young people lazy, those young persons you're seeing, they are from our own society. They're not lazy and they want something. That's why they were there. And as you said, the minister told you, some of the programs are oversubscribed. They have to go on to other modules because the young people are actually coming out. So the few that we have who may be slipping under the radar, well, I think I still catch them. It's not all our youths who are deviant and behaving in a particular way that is against what is the norm in the society. A lot, hundreds of young people are taking part in programs that are being put there by the different ministries. And we just wanted to bring you that. The last one was actually the graduation of the first level persons who took part in the Homestead program. That is where you get in the house, the starter house, the 2 acres of land, and the grant to start you into your business, and then you could go on and also get more money to continue with your business.
Yes.
So that's the last clip.
Yep. So we go to that clip.
future farmers were able to successfully cultivate food over the past year, which allowed them to be introduced to new and existing technologies, techniques, and practices. Today, in recognition of their achievement of these young men and women who are beneficiaries of the technical and financial resources afforded to them by the state, we are here to establish their accomplishment in the completion of level 1.
The biggest barrier for youth in agriculture is the access to land. The capital is something that you just don't have until much later on in life. So this is a perfect program to get more youth into agriculture. And while the outside world would say, getting land, we are getting this land for free, we know it didn't come cheap. We sacrificed time away from our families, lost income in our businesses, and some of us even left full-time employment to pursue a dream that will not only benefit ourselves and our immediate families, but also our nation.
Get your produce out, make the sacrifice, and ensure that you put your produce out in the market. You'll get it sell. You could buy a house, you can get married, buy a nice pickup. Don't buy no car. Don't buy no car, buy a nice pickup. So the pickup will work for you.
This program has been well articulated and publicized as a program designed to provide opportunities for interested young persons to prosper through the development of experience and expertise in agri-entrepreneurship. Its benefits include the building of personal and family wealth, alongside the acquisition of housing and the security that comes with that. This itself includes the acquisition of 2 acres of fertile land for each successful applicant. From an initial enrollment of 200 participants, a total of 168 participants will graduate from this first cohort. This will allow them to take their places in the second year of the program, which essentially means that you will be able to move on to acquire your 2-acre parcel and get into the practical aspect of the program. The Land Settlement Agency is poised to facilitate the development of infrastructure on lands located at Chatham Dairy Farm, Carlisle Estate in Chatham, La Gloria Estate in Princestown, and Chambers Estate in Talparo. So as we look forward to the next phase in what by all means of food security and Millennial Development Goal agenda item, let me once more challenge you participants to stay the course. The nation's future, our sense of comfort, stability, and security depend on your efforts in this regard.
Your government working for you. Yes, and that, of course, is the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service, working for the young people of Trinidad and Tobago, not just about promoting getting your CXC subjects, getting your full certificate, and then sending out an application and hoping that you get a call back, hoping that you get an interview so that you can get a job, sitting behind a desk from 8 to 4. Here it is that they are rolling out programs that enables the young people between the ages of 18 and 35 to write their own paycheck at the end of the month. Nobody dictates your pace, nobody dictates your hours. The harder you work is the more money that you could earn. So 2 acres of arable farmland, fertile arable farmland, belongs to you. So while we have on the other side, again, of the political fence, they're promoting land for the landless. We will give you a certificate of comfort to allow you, which is basically state permission for you to squat, to occupy state land, to build a house. Here it is that you have the government of Keith Rowley, PNM government of Keith Rowley, is offering young people deeds of lease and deeds of conveyance, right, as they get their starter home. This is deeds that they could take to the bank to procure further funding to boost their business enterprise. 2 acres of land, Under the last administration, they gave one man 100 acres to plant onions for export. One man, 100 acres. That's 50 young people who could have shared that 100 acres under this program. 50 entrepreneurs versus one. It's 50 people who could create employment opportunities, who could become wealthy, who could become rich, and create employment opportunities for their contemporaries. That is your government working for you, not giving 100 acres of land to one person. And then, well, we see how that turned out, right? Or bulldozing 4 acres of land, of arable farmland, to give to one person to build a car park. Pave paradise to put up a parking lot, literally. That is what happened 2010 to 2015. But 2015 to 2023 and beyond, we are creating young entrepreneurs. And let me make it abundantly clear, this is not just for PNM supporters. It is open to all young people ages 18 to 35. So even if you don't support the government, you could still get into the program. Yeah? And even while you're getting your starter home, your 2 years training in UE in agriculture, your $20,000 to start your business, and your 2 acres of land, you could still bad talk the same government that gave you the opportunity. All right? I think we have another break to take, and when we come back, we continue the conversation. Stay locked.
Skills?
I mastered my hairdressing skill. I can't stop here. My main goal is to master my reading skill. I am skilled and I am alta skilled.
My skill is playing the African drum, but I intend to improve and exceed. I am skilled and I am alta skilled.
Are you 16 or over? Add reading and writing to your skills with free alta classes. Sign up at Nalis Libraries on September 5th and 6th or call 708-1990.
Are you stressed and worried by problems? Then meet Priest Santosh G. Priest is specialized in palm, face, photo, and date of birth reading and gives solutions to problems in marriage, relationships, love, business, job, health, and removes all negativity and bad luck permanently and gives good luck and also gives lifelong protection. Home consultation is done. Call Priest Santosh on 756-8401. That's 756-8401.
The rainy season is here. Don't wait until your roof is falling into call. Contact Murphy's Roofing to get all your roofing services done now. Murphy's Roofing System is offering 10% off labor, 5% off material, 10% off roof cleaning, and 10% off roof painting. So contact them at 356-7663 or WhatsApp to 987-663 or check them out on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Murphy's Roofing System or Twitter at Murphy's System. And remember, Murphy's Roofing System, where you always get quality work for your money.
Green Dot continues to deliver internet connectivity to a wide range of communities in Trinidad. With our combination fiber and wireless network, you get the service you need wherever you live. Stream your favorite shows, enjoy online tuition, stay in touch with your work team, and connect with friends and family with internet service at a price you can afford. As communities continue to grow, we continue to deliver. Call 224-GDOT or visit gd.tt today. Green Dot, improving and simplifying lives.
Welcome back, Trinidad and Tobago, to all of our loyal viewers here on SynergyTV, and those of you who are taking us in on our social media platforms. Thank you so much for staying with us and for the vibrant commentary that I'm seeing taking place on,
Yeah.
on Facebook. We take note of that as well. I invite you to, if you have any questions that you want to ask. So I saw there was one question that was asked just now, or rather a comment that was made with respect to the sustainability of these programs. If, as Patrick Manning said,
if you take God out
yes, you pass and lose with your vote in 2025 and put the wrong party in
all
power.
that done.
Yes, whether or
Just
not
like
these
how they
programs
closed
will
down
be.
all the youth camps.
Yes.
I know that for a fact. I was working on the largest youth camp in the country and in the Caribbean, the El Dorado Girls Youth Camp.
Right.
When that was closed down, it was really heart-rending because a lot of the tutors and even the cooks within the kitchen were campers when the camp
Yeah.
opened in the early 70s,
Right.
around there. And a lot of the tradesmen and women in the other camps were also former campers who would have gone through that system and would have certified themselves and became tutors. So it was heartrending. We know the UNC have a history of closing down anything that, in my opinion, again, I think that they feel a lot of persons of African descent is a part of and could benefit from. I heard Mr. Barry Garcia say, so I'm saying after him, I hope he doesn't mind. When Mr. Manning came into office as Prime Minister, somebody told him that there was some trade school across the Caroni Bridge, and the only African persons that had was the 4 cleaners, something to that effect. And Mr. Manning went and he saw it for himself.
Right.
And that would have brought about UTT to treat with that. I heard he was very disheartened and thing. So I'm quoting after Barry Garcia. So those are the things that they do. It's never about nationalism. It's just about ethnicity, I would say, based on the history they're showing. I just want to say shout out to Miss Ruth Fortin from Florida. And I see my sister, Miss Davy, telling me that I look lovely. Thank you, Miss Davy. I'm trying to follow the, the earrings was be slamming. I know the glasses yet, but the earrings. And all others who find that I'm looking good tonight, thank you so much. So as we continue, Dominic, to show that the future, as Dr. Equivalent for us said, the future of this country and suffers in the train school bag, and we must train the young ones, teach them to fish so that they be able to handle their stories as they go along in life. And that is what the People's National Movement has always done from inception. It was always about the children. There was a time that all children could not go to schools. Who had money, they made it affordable for all.
Right.
They would have pumped monies into schools and all that. You had a wider cross-section of persons going to school. You had all the programs for young people. We used to get book grants, you used to get this thing, free bus pass, you're getting lunch in school. It was as if you were being taken care of as a child by really the father of a nation. So PNM always had that history of doing that. However, had the UNC still been in office, we'd have been seeing people with a belly big going up for the $500 baby grant. They might have been graduating at the baby grant ceremony. Those who graduated and make the babies, they come with the babies in the hand to show they make the babies and receive their $500. Or they may have been invited again up to Hilton Hotel with all the security that she used to have that she's now complaining that Dr. Rowley has. And tell them to hand on your lips and stand up, sit down, and come on 7 and capital 7 with Jack as the teacher. And they get $69 or $59? $69. Those are the graduation ceremonies we might have had, or call another state of emergency, limited in the East-West corridor, and graduated by taking off young men from the Nelsons and Beatam and Silots, taking them and herding them to the back of vehicles, police vehicles, and charging them and say, we're getting to charge them, locking them up and saying you're getting to charge them after and graduate. They would have graduated into criminality and all that. So those are the prospects that the UNC had for people who look like me to a large extent. So, but the graduation that we see that's happening under the People's National Movement is just not people who look like me. All children of this country, once you apply and you're successful, and it's something to help you to go on in life into business, own your own business, entrepreneur, so you don't depend on a work till you're 60 and get government pension and NIS, you could support yourself and all that. Those are the programs that the People's National Movement put in place to develop our society and to develop young people. So if you all, again, want to take God out all your thoughts, because you all stood your ground here for the local government election. We stood our ground and we went into the booth. We didn't light up nothing. We went and we took our hands, in fact, and take the what they call it, you just put down the XVIII.
Stamp, yeah.
We stamp and then we fold our ballot paper just how they show us, and we went out with it, proudly hold it up and dip our index finger in the ink. That's what we went and do. The only light up was the finger were looking red from the ink. But we went and we stood up and told Kamala Prasad, we said, sir, you can't bring two old fools, a old one and a young one, who before us now to tell us that they better than sliced bread, who would have said things about you that one of them would have been before the GSC, speaking about their members in the UNC who are aligned to criminals.
Yes.
And would have spoken so many other things at that GSC. And now, being a former commissioner of police, standing right next to the person who you said their party had criminals
Spent
and aligned to,
42 million.
they spent 42 million, excuse me, on to get the place hot.
Yes.
For want a better word, and Jack Warner, who say all kind of things, you bring she down and that, and they come back now and standing as one and all. They expect we really to believe that, right? Yeah, yeah. So people would have stood their ground in this country, and we know traditionally that local government election is not one that there's a large turnout. But what we know for a fact is that UNC would have lost grounds, because in 2019, 202,000 persons would have voted for them. But in 2023, just 173,000 thousand voted for them. So they lost. Yeah, so when they say they win, just like they say they have capital 7 and command 7, they don't understand loss. So they must be seeing a big loss and a small loss.
Yes.
So probably to them, that is a small loss. And PNM who get seats, that is a big loss.
Yes.
I don't get it. So people are actually turning away from the people's, not people's partnership, but the UNC, and they rejecting the UNC. And they will continue to reject the UNC when they see programs like this that the Ministry of Development and National Services is putting forward, and see the joy in young people's face and how they're turning out to be involved in it. That is what people is going to vote for. They're not voting for no Matic. They're not voting for no stand your ground, to have laws that will be to the detriment even more to people who look like me and you, Dominic, and so many others. We're not into that. We are about life, we are about living, we are about educating our young persons. Not everybody academically inclined, but they have technical work to do. If you can't up and running, we may not have been having all these problems we had, because where do those young persons who would have fallen out of school after Form 5 didn't do well? Youth camp was the place they used to go. They want to learn a trade. They close with the girls and they used to get themselves into some little problems, and at St. Jude's and other places, the mom or the guardian used to bring them to the girls' youth camp. They're there to do hairdressing, they do food and nutrition and so many other things, and out there working. But when you close all that, a whole grouping of young persons who would have fallen through the track were gone even lower now, because there's nothing there. So that's what the UNC brings to this country. Yeah? The UNC bring nothing of substance. It's just mayhem, confusion, and one of the own would have said it, that the only party to take us out of the morass
is
the People's National Movement. That was Duppy, the man who always said sell out this country for a plate of food when he was UN ambassador, Rodney Charles, his name. So they know the truth, you know, but they're trying to spread propaganda, and we will not fall for that. We are smarter than that. We are more informed, and we get informed. There are persons like you, Ms. Davy, Ms. Phyllis, and so many others who are out there spreading the word. And then there are those who on social media who are really fierce warriors when it comes to the information on social media. We have a whole group of persons there who are spreading the word and keep spreading. So that is what it is about, spreading the truth, spreading the word, real issues. And we will do it, you know, brick by brick, brick by brick. We will do drip by drip, that's full bucket. So we're not worried to the extent that we're not reaching the youth, but we know that more has to be done. We know that the People's National Movement needs to really invest more into areas where you have more invest into the human capacity on the ground, the network on the ground. That is something that they should look into, because that is a really vibrant area, because it's people's national movement, and Dr. Eric Williams had a movement on the ground of the people. So we must not be disconnected from the people.
Correct.
So we must keep that alive, and we know that they wouldn't, because the PNM is a party that listens. They listen. That's why they have been there for so many years, continuously, 30 at one time and after. And when the place get hot up by those who want to rule and everything fall apart, people just hold their head and ball and say, we want back the PNM, because they know that the PNM will really bring us back on a steady footing. But let me don't play fast and loose to try something else. Let me say what we have, so that these homestead programs and all the other programs that these children will pass through and keep going through, and that we will see succession, and that is what is going to build our society at the end of the day.
Indeed. And the minister did in fact say when he was here that they would be setting up a special purpose company, an entity that would be responsible for overseeing all of these programs to ensure that what happened under live sport does not in fact happen with these programs, and that the intended beneficiaries, the young people, the future of Trinidad and Tobago, that they would be the ones who would benefit the most from these programs. First through the education aspect of it, and then through the application of what it is they learn with support from the state. Of course, through this $24 million grant program and other mechanisms of support would be coming on stream. You know, there's a particular radio station that will remain nameless. I ain't giving them no plug, right? I think you know, they have there's a program on a Saturday.
Oh my God!
That they come to educate and inform. But the people there who come to educate and inform need to educate and inform themselves. Maybe they should try and see what program the government have that they could sign up.
And Dominic, you know, I think that is part of the whole propaganda. Because you have, this is our opinion I'm giving, you have to be getting paid to song chopping. So chopping. I don't think you willfully do that. You don't get up and say, I'm going to song that way.
Yeah.
I think there's some motivation or some incentive for you to be coming and sitting as a presenter where the world is listening, not just Trinidad and Tobago again, because we are on Facebook, you're on YouTube. The world is listening and giving that type of information that somebody could just Google and say, but what foolishness.
Yeah, but they believe what it is they're saying.
And that's what I'm saying. You have to be invested in giving misinformation, and you have to be motivated to do it.
Because they have the public. They have their audience who like to hear that kind of stupidness, who just as daft as they are. And I make no apologies for saying that, right? Because when you could be called and say, yeah, boy, good program. Yeah, I like the trajectory. Yeah, really?
And I think the callers too, they invested in doing that, and the purpose is to get the UNC back into office. I don't even think they believe what the person is saying, because you could Google these things, you could search it. I refuse to believe that they willingly just go and talk them things.
Jenny, remember the waterfront ilk? They had no clue what they're there for, but we just
I tried to break a little bit.
Do you know what is being debated in the parliament? Ask Sheena. The bill. Yeah, right. You know, Mr. Hawaii Region 23 bring we here. Right, so you just go anyway.
But worse than that, what I would say, it says so much about the management of that radio station.
Yeah.
To be having presenters there who people tuning in to listen to, and after you listen to programs had hidden from before, facts and all that, to come to listen to that, it says, best they play music.
That might be the better thing. But you know, one of the things that they always talk about that upsets me, is that the government needs to give the young people contract. Give them contract to build box train and give them contracts to build this and build that. And I'm saying, yes, give them contracts, but are they prepared for these contracts? Because it's not just the government offering contracts, you know. You have the private sector too. You always see RFPs in the newspaper and on social media and the like. You're seeing invitations for small contractors, large contractors, medium-sized contractors to come and pre-qualify, so that when it is that your name, your business name is in the database of these companies and they have work that needs to be done, which your company does, rather than them having to send out a tender in the newspaper, they can pick up the phone and call you and say, look now, we have this job to do, we want you to tender for it. right? Are we teaching them to be able to look for these things? Not just to look for it, but how do you fill out put in a bid? How do you reply to an RFP? How do you submit a proposal? And even when they do that, right? Remember these companies, when they pay you, they have to make sure, based on the new regulations in place with the OPR, the Office of the Procurement Regulator, and so on. In order for you to get contracts from the government, you must be registered with the OPR registry. Are you teaching them how to be able to do that? Why, instead of showing them, well, okay, how to register a business, right? Make sure that your ducks in a row, so that when these opportunities present itself, that you could offer your service. But no, just come and get contract. The government has a responsibility to ensure that you pay your all of your statutory obligations with respect to VAT and your taxes and all of these things, your NIS and your health surcharge when you have people working for you. So it is not just about doing what happened between 2010 to 2015. Give them a box train contract. Half of them don't even know how to pull a line. Don't even know how to put on blocks. But you give them contract. The box train start here and it end there. Start his bush, end his bush, and make no sense. But get them contract, and that making sense.
But Dominic, if they want to keep you powerless, of course they will do that. If you were to get your education to go to the next level, it means to say you'll be empowered. But if they want you powerless, so that when on a Saturday you talk them kind of talk, and all as you say, yeah, you're talking, you think, they will always so box train. Give me a contract for about. And next thing, a friendly advice. When you go and you go to the minister, whoever you go to, I want or they see you on TV, they interview you on TV. So what you think when they come to you? I want to work, yes? What kind of work? Anything, yes? Please stop saying that now.
Yes.
You want to work, say exactly what you want to. I want to do plumbing, or I'm a plumber. What you have? I have a plumbing certificate, or whatever it is. Say exactly what you want. Stop saying you want anything. You don't want anything. Go with a plan, go with an idea. And even if you have to do some program to get to it, you will get the advice to go. But when you go and you tell them, I want to work. I can do anything else? No, you can't. Say exactly what you want, whether it is you want to be the best seamstress, you want to be the best. For instance, I was saying, there are so many little training in certain areas. It have them girls and them who could plait real good, real styles and all that. What about if you tell the parents, send the train on a Sunday? With a little money, of course, and you come there here for Monday for the week to go to school. You go buy Pennywise, you buy a big bottle of shampoo and grease whatever, and you shampoo the children here, and you have 7, 8 children here coming on a Saturday and a Sunday. Or you have a washing machine and whatever, some of them parents in her that, whatever it is. Become the laundry, informal laundry, and then you grow from there. Those are little business ideas that you could get into and you could grow from there. Why we can't do that? Something wrong with that? I know there's a young lady, I admire her so much. She and the husband, he had damaged his back, but not that he can't walk or anything, but he can't do that strenuous work. And they made a decision, he will stay home with the children. And she would work, what work she does do? Clean homes.
Right.
She just clean houses. She have about 3, 4 houses. She just clean. She little sewing. She teach herself to sew all that, do little courses, all that. She just bring out mass band every year, old mass band. She's a young person.
Right.
I doubt she's 40 yet. And she's doing that when nobody knows her children are excelling in school. I think the eldest son, he's into linguists and all that and doing well. And she's cleaning homes.
Yeah.
And she not feeling no how about that. The husband ain't feeling no how to be home and cleaning the place, keeping it thing that when she come home, everything in order. They make that arrangement. So those are things that could happen. So come some children here now. Make our money for $20 ahead, $30 ahead, and they're making a lot of money just so you're pressing clothes. You might have an iron, wherever it is, little children come, you like to iron their school clothes for Monday morning. They come with a lot of money. All that is business. It don't have to be no government job and no office work. Sometimes the people like them who do them kind of work have more money and making more money than people who work in government service.
Correct. Correct.
So those are ideas there. Tell them what you want. Don't say, I want to work. You must have an idea what it is. No work is too stupid. They might want to just be a dancer. You might just want to be a singer. You can make money doing those things. You might just want to be a backup singer or backup dancer. You could do those things and make money. The artists are there. Carnival time, you're getting work, and other time they have shows and all. So please, have an idea what you want to do and say exactly what you want to do. If you can't read and write, there's nothing wrong with that. I see an advertisement with an elder. He's now learning to read and write, and the man is so happy. He's a big man, so you 20, 30, 15, 16, you can read and write. Go and learn in altar. Nothing is wrong with that. I think it's 50 cents still. and you get any courses, classes there. And when you go, you see how much other people like you can read and write, nothing to feel ashamed about. The shame is remaining in this space, not be able to read and write and get on ignorant and stupid now. You want to go and look for nothing because you can't fill out a form and you want nobody to make you read and write. Come now, man, we can do better.
But in addition to that, Jen, I mean, there's so many opportunities that are presenting themselves. So many opportunities are out there. You just need to be able to have a discerning eye. For instance, the University of the West Indies has the UB School of Continuing Studies, where they offer a number of short courses, right? Sometimes 3 months, 6 months, as the case may be. They have level 1, level 2.
Not extramural, like something different.
Yeah. Okay. But
my guess was extramural.
Some of these courses are like $1,150, $1,600. I mean, some of you all, when you want to buy a brand new cell phone costing $5,000 and $6,000 and $7,000, you want the iPhone or this and that, or when you have a concert that you want to attend, you're saving your money, you're investing your money in Susu, right? You want 2 and 3 hand to be able to pay for these things. Why not put your money in the Susu to invest in one of these short courses? If 2 or 3 or 4 of you all come together, all of these small companies and medium-sized companies, some of them who now under the Office of the Procurement Regulator looking to get contracts through the state and are registering with the OPR so that they could be shortlisted. They are going, some of them, will be needing services, whether it is to do little bookkeeping and these kind of things, to do a payroll, all of these different things, because as opportunities present themselves and they get government contracts, they're going to grow, they're going to need to expand and hire people, and they are going to have need for these services. And a lot of them are afraid to go to the big companies that offer these services because they figure they're going to charge them a pound and a crown. You could position yourself by going and doing some of these courses and putting yourself out there. Choose if 4 or 5 of you will come together and say, well, I will do this and you will do that, and you start your little business and you could start these outsourcing services for several of these companies, and you could make money, work for yourself. You don't need to go and send out a resume and wait and sit down for them to call you for an interview, and then you're waiting 2 and 3 weeks and 2 months waiting, hoping that they call you back, and in the meantime, what you doing?
I am we say make some sucker bag.
Yeah.
Morby, boil some Morby thing together, make a sucker bag. The place will be real hot now. Have a little thing and you sell it. All those things can help and pay for a little courses. There's things to do and there's no shame in doing those things. And when you start, you realize the opportunities open to you. You go into the bank, you open a little account and you sucker bag money, you realize every day. You're saving up $5 by the end of the 3 months. When you look at the $5, you save up every day. You say, I save all that. You feeling so good, you're going to open an account, you go to put our money and you're saving the little money. You just feel a sense of pride.
Yes.
People might find that foolishness, but I dare any young person listening tonight. Every day, save $1. You must find $1. Save $1 every day. Put it in something. Save $1 every day. After 2 months, go and look at them dollars and tell me if you feel a sense of pride. Boy, what is this? All our money, boy.
Yes.
And then you get more excited. No, I go save $2 now. And you start from there. And then when you think of it, you say, here, what? I'm going to open an account.
Yes.
If the bank getting stressed, go in a credit union. Open a little account in credit union. And you will be so happy every day, a little $5, a little $10. And when you see your money growing, then by the time it's growing up, you realize you could get a little money borrowed because you have money on shares. Yes. And that's how you started. And then the world is open to people, man. It's open to us.
You just had to have eagle eyes. Folks, it is 9:56. That 2 hours just fly just like that. As they say, how time flies when it is that you're having fun, and we certainly enjoy this evening's conversation, and we trust and hope that you did too. So as I always say, we're out of time, but certainly not out of things to say. And God's willing, we will be back next week. Next week, Tuesday, Wendell is going to be back. We have a short week next week because we have Thursday is the 61st of this country's 61st anniversary of independence. So we will not have a show.
Time already?
Yeah, we won't have a show on next week, Thursday, but so Tuesday and Wednesday. So Wendell obviously is going to be back on Tuesday, and on Wednesday, my guest is supposed to be Tahaka Obika. So we will see how that goes. Yeah, so
only he's saying that, but next thing I get a call.
Yeah, she know how it goes. She and retainer. So yes. And then after next week, the following week, I will not be here for the following 2 weeks because, as I said, I'll be proceeding on a little trip. Sometimes you just need to rest and relax because I did a lot of talking in the lead up to the election, so I need to recharge. So you will be left in the capable hands of my good friend here. I think she's finalized. right? So we'll call each other.
Or you have to look for clothes now to come.
Yeah, so she's had enough experience in front of the camera, so she don't need my help. Yeah, so thank you all so much for joining us this evening.
Blessed night, everyone.
Yeah,
Thanks for
enjoy the
always
rest of your
being
night.
happy.
Those of you watching CPL, hopefully your team is winning. If not, well, hey.
Then you should be watching Synergy.
Yes. So have a good weekend, folks, and we will chat again next week, God willing. Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.
The following is an independent paid production.
Because no race has the last word on culture and civilization. They do not know what we are capable of. They do not know what we are thinking.
The opinions and responsibility of the original.
Because my work has only just begun.
Up you mighty people, up you mighty people, up you mighty, up you mighty, up you mighty.
Feel it down in your soul, till you can't control it. Put your hand up to the sky, mama don't ask why. In these dark and lonely times, we gon' turn the tide. If you're looking for a sign, turn and look inside of you. Your body is a temple, your sweat is holy water. Every move you're making is praise unto the master, yes. Yeah. Because you're powerful, powerful, inside, outside, wonderful, magical, beauty, can't hide me and you, never lose, trust me, can't lie, hopeful, till the day we die. Whoa, powerful, yeah. Oh, my beautiful people, full of wonder, wonderful. Whoa, powerful, yeah. Oh, my beautiful people, full of wonder, wonderful. Up you mighty people, up you mighty people, up you mighty, up you mighty, up you mighty people, up you mighty people, up you mighty people, up you mighty, up you mighty, up you mighty people, up you mighty people, up you mighty people, up you mighty, up you mighty, up you mighty people, up you mighty people, up you mighty people, up you mighty, up you mighty, up you mighty people.
Everyone know that we coming through. Coming from the south of the archipelago. We have soul and colorful for soul. But them mashing up, we good living, we don't live so. Call your neighbor them. Rise we name again. State your claim again. Tell them we go rain again.
Because you're powerful, powerful, inside, outside, wonderful, magical, beauty, can't hide me and you, never lose, trust me, can't lie, hopeful, till the day we die. Whoa, powerful, yeah. Oh, my beautiful people, full of wonder, wonderful. Whoa, powerful, yeah. Oh, my beautiful people, full of wonder, wonderful. Of you mighty people, of you mighty people, of you mighty, of you mighty, of you mighty people, of you mighty people, of you mighty people, of you mighty, of you mighty, of you mighty people, of you mighty people, of you mighty people, of you mighty, of you mighty, of you mighty people, of you mighty people, of you mighty people, of you mighty, of you mighty, of you mighty people.
Because my work has only just begun.